Good morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how we spent our Halloween weekend, basically. Today is Sunday, so yesterday, Saturday, I ended up making just a day trip down to my dad's house. He lives about 3 hours down south, and so we did a little trip down there. So today, which is the day before Halloween, I wanted to go ahead and make our fun Halloween dinner that I usually do. I did it last year with I think meatloaf, like a zombie face meatloaf. This year I wanted to switch it up a little bit, which was more complicated than I realized because trying to come up with like creepy, cool Halloween things. So I did not make as much food as I did last year, but the first thing that I wanted to get started on was this broken glass sugar, basically, that's going to go on top of these cupcakes. So now I am starting on the cupcakes. Basically, because you're using the cocoa powder, the recipe also called for like a water and butter mixture. So I'm not sure if mixing that together is gonna give it that black color, but they came out black. I was kind of worried that they were gonna be more brown, like chocolate brown, but it worked out. They were black. The recipe is on my Pinterest, which I get most of any of my like ideas, baking, cooking, that kind of thing. I get on my Pinterest. I went ahead and made homemade buttercream frosting as well. And then I also decided to do the blood splatter, but I was kind of frustrated with it because I had to buy all new food coloring. They had food coloring gel, which I already had at home. I know how to use it. But my old food coloring, the red that I needed, there was only a tiny bit in there and it was liquidy how it's supposed to be. The new one that I bought was more of I don't know if it was an old, I don't know what happened with it, but it was old and it was a different color and it was not the right consistency. Like it wasn't as, you can kind of see right here, it wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't work out. And so basically I kind of went with it. I stirred it up and then the directions said if you add a tiny bit of blue food coloring, that will give it that deep red look, like that deep blood look. Well, I did that, and you can't really tell on camera, but in person it looked more purple, but I figured it's fine for my kids. They get the idea. So now I'm moving on to the chicken pot pie. This recipe is from the Pioneer Woman, and basically what I want to do with it is I already have the pie crust made that's going to go on top, but I wanted to make a creepy looking face to go on top. So that is why I didn't do as many side dishes, because really a chicken pot pie is a meal in itself. So I switched to breaking the sugar glass while the chicken pot pie was on the stove kind of cooking together. But I did notice that as the evening went on, the glass kind of got sticky. So if I ever decide to do this again, I will definitely need to use a candy thermometer. So now I am moving to the chicken pot pie, kind of putting it together. I always put my chicken in a mixer and you use the paddle attachment and turn it on and that will shred your chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the chicken pot pie together and then move on to trying to make a creepy looking face for the top of this chicken pot pie. So Dalton came downstairs to shower because they do still have school tomorrow. So as I was kind of getting everything set up, he came and, saw as I was setting up the table, but I was still able to surprise both of them. And I was really impressed with how these faces turned out. They knew that it was a face. I was just kind of worried that it was just going to look like a big blob, but it turned out I was pretty happy with it. I also made just an extra side, which is this mac and cheese. It just has green food coloring in it. And then their absolute favorite is this grenadine and Sprite. They look forward to it every time that I do these dinners. So we had dinner, we all ate dinner together and had dessert. They were pretty impressed with my cupcakes, even though it did not look exactly like I had wanted it to. They loved it, which is all that matters, right? It is now the next day, Monday morning, Halloween day. My kids have half a day of school today. So they have Halloween parties and a parade and everything at school in the morning. So I was kind of rushed trying to get them out the door. I also wanted to have enough time to take a couple quick pictures of them in their costumes. So I have Daylin, her alien costume was so funny. And when we were walking around downtown for downtown trick-or-treating, I can't tell you how many people stopped her to tell her, like, wanting to take a picture because they thought it was so funny, which I thought people had seen, a costume like that before. But I also took a picture of Dalton kind of in the trees, not looking at the camera, trying to get his like creepy feel. So then we were in the Tahoe and heading to school, which I also wanted to make sure to leave a little bit earlier too because it was so foggy out. So as soon as I got home, I went ahead and kind of threw some makeup on. I knew that we were going to be trick-or-treating with some friends, so I got ready really quick. I made a couple phone calls, which is seriously the worst time of my life. I hate phone calls. I cannot tell you, it gives me so much anxiety. I don't know why, it's just my thing. But after the phone calls, I went ahead and got some house stuff done, just the typical dishes, laundry, kind of cleaning everything up. I also really like that Febreze air. It's called, the scent is Ocean, and even though it's for the air, I still kind of spray it like over the couch, over the rug, over the dog bed, but it has almost like I don't want to say like a cologne smell, it's just kind of like a clean smell. So now it is already time for me to go get Dalton and Day, and my Tahoe was so dirty from the trip down to my dad's house. I had some stuff I still needed to unpack, and I need to clean out my Tahoe very badly. But when I picked up Dalton and Day from school, I noticed Daylin was not wearing her costume. Dalton had a button missing. So this is about 11:30 or so whenever I picked them up. So when we got home, I ended up making some coffee. I knew it was going to be a long evening. I was tired. So I went ahead and got their costumes kind of fixed. I knew I did not want to procrastinate that because this evening was going to be pretty hectic. We had something fun that I had set aside that I wanted to do with them. I also wanted to make dinner, and I knew Brett was going to be getting home at around 4 o'clock. He was going to come home, change really quick, and then we were going to head out the door to go into town to go trick-or-treating with my best friend and her family. So just wanted to get the costumes kind of fixed right away. But my mom ended up bringing Dalton and Daylin this really cute haunted house gingerbread. And so I went ahead and figured we had a couple hours before it was going to be actual trick-or-treating time. So I wanted to kind of do this fun gingerbread haunted house with them. Shep cracks me up. He always has to be like right there with anything that we're doing. And I tried giving him a little piece of that candy, but anytime we're like doing anything, he is legit right there. So we finished up the haunted house. It turned out really cute. They ate some of the candy that was kind of left over. And then I wanted to go ahead and get started on dinner. That way we didn't have belly aches that evening. I knew they were going to be eating a lot of candy. So this is sausage rigatoni. This is also a Pioneer Woman recipe. I start out with onions. You don't have to do onions, but I cook the onions. And then this is just sausage, just regular breakfast sausage that I have cooking together. Noodles, I never know how much noodles to add. I just eyeball it and then I get way too many noodles, so I can't give you an exact amount of the noodles, but just eyeball it, I guess. Dalton and Dalen were also kind of going at it back and forth upstairs, and so I was standing at the bottom of the stairs, kind of like, you know, being a referee, you know, the mom thing, and my sausage browned a little bit too much, but it's all right. I also add 2 jars of marinara sauce. It might seem like a lot, but trust me, it's not, because this is going to be layered. So I basically combine the onions, the sausage, the 2 jars of marinara sauce. I cook that together, and then what you're gonna do is layer it. So you do a tiny bit of the sauce in the bottom of your dish, which will help everything not stick to the bottom. Then you're just going to layer the noodles on top. Then you're going to add half of the sauce, a little bit of cheese on top, and then repeat those layers with the noodles, the rest of your sauce, and then more cheese on top, and then that's going to go in 350-degree oven for half an hour. So as soon as Brett got home, he hopped in the shower, changed, we all ate just a little bit, and then we were heading into town. Basically, we go trick-or-treating in my best friend's neighborhood. So we just kind of walk around with her and her husband, and then their 2 kids are in 5th grade as well, like Dalton, and then Dalen is the youngest in 3rd grade. But basically, those 4 just, you know, run around house to house, and us parents just kind of follow behind them. So we always have a lot of fun on Halloween trick-or-treating. I could not believe how much candy they got this year. I know that they did not get this much last year. It was crazy. I'm like, we do not need all of this, because now I'm going to walk past it in the kitchen and I'm gonna eat it. So we found a leaf in her candy too. But we had a blast. We had a great Halloween. I hope all of you had a wonderful Halloween too. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.